If you make the commitment to do 1 minute a day, these 4 steps, you will change your life. Period.
This podcast is a Dear Media production.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back.
Okay, I have a very funny week. We both have big weeks
Coming up. Yeah.
We will both have been back
Yes.
as this episode starts, but I just got back from LA 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
A couple days ago. Right after this recording, in 1 hour, I have to go to Mexico.
You have to for
I
work.
have to go to Mexico City. I'm going with Emily and my friend Melanie, and I'm flying straight from Mexico to Vegas.
Yeah.
For our birthday for 24 hours in Vegas.
I love it.
I'm very excited. We're doing dinner, Aziz Ansari, club, maybe Chainsmokers.
Club, another bus.
Yes, another bus. So yeah, it's a whirlwind. You can't come to Vegas maybe because you are starting your tour.
I am starting my tour. It will have been started, but as we speak, I'm like getting ready to start it this weekend in Chicago. I'll have just gotten back from Chicago. As you guys are listening, 3 incredible sold out shows at the Den Theater.
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's all downhill from here. No kidding. I just really started it with like one of my favorite theaters. Mm-hmm. But no, I am so excited. And we'll talk about it a little bit more when we talk about our New York trip. But you know, I'm just going to say it. This weekend, Phoenix, Rayna's going to be there.
Yeah, you've been like teasing this like big guest. Don't you? People think that it's not me.
Yes. Someone just said,
you guys, who would it be?
Someone asked if it was Sparkle Eyes, my fiance.
Who's bigger than me?
And I said, even better. Someone
Obviously.
in the DMs was like, is your fiance the special guest for Phoenix? I was like, no, even better. I think I said it was you. I was like, I'll tell her.
Well, I'll be there. So I'm excited. We're taking a little girly trip to Arizona.
Guys, Rayna's just been itching to get on stage. And I was like, come to Phoenix.
My stories right now are insane.
Yeah. So she's hosting the show.
I'm excited. Honestly, Ashley said I'm going to blow the light. I am. I have so much to say.
People even know what that means.
So when you're a comedian, you say like, I'll do like a 12-minute set and they light you so they know when to wrap it up.
Yeah.
They'll light you at 10 minutes. There's a light at the top.
It's a wrap up light.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if
Wrap
you
that
blow
shit
the
up.
light, it's a whole thing. Some comedians, they do it all the time. And it's disrespectful.
People don't like it.
People don't like it.
I have a lot to say. So.
We're going to be doing a light at my wedding for people's speeches. You wrap it up.
I don't even know who's giving speeches at your wedding.
Not a lot of people.
Have you decided?
Yeah.
You want to tell me?
No, they don't even know. I don't know.
You haven't asked them yet.
Mostly,
Okay.
we're going to do some speeches on Friday night.
Great.
In costume.
You got to break them up.
Yeah. But at the wedding, we'll talk about it. And you're not giving a speech because your speech is the officiating.
Okay, so I'll give my speech while I'm up there.
Yeah, you'll do your thing up there.
Okay,
You
great.
don't need the mic again.
Okay, great. I'll give my speech up there. I've been like picking out my outfits. I'm very excited.
For my wedding?
Yeah.
What?
What do you mean?
Oh, to officiate. Because we got to get all your Indian stuff. I'll help you with that.
Oh no, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Okay.
But I've been trying. People keep asking me what I'm going to wear to officiate. I'm thinking maybe like some kind of tuxedo type vibe.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, that's what, when I did my brother's, I wanted like a black jumpsuit. I wanted to feel very priest-like, and then I changed. But I can't wait to see what you're thinking.
I'll run everything by you,
Okay.
obviously. I'm excited. Well, congrats. I can't believe you're starting a tour without me. It's fucking crazy.
I can't believe you're going to be in Vegas without me.
Yeah, true.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I should just fly to Chicago.
How are you going to be at Carbone without me?
That's crazy.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so we're going to thank our partners and get into it. Thank you to Rocket Money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions at rocketmoney.com/GGE and Article. Get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more at article.com/GGE. And finally, BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/GGE.
Yes, and thank you to Nutrafol. Get $10 off any order and free shipping when you subscribe at Nutrafol.com with code GGEGIFT. And Booking.com, win $1,000 of Booking.com travel credit by entering their sweepstakes on Instagram at Booking.com. And a new partner I'm so excited about, Trade Coffee. Get 40% off your first order at drinktrade.com/eat.
So we just got back from New York. People kept asking me, like, why are you going? You guys have shows? I'm like, no, Ashley has shows. Do you know how many times I've had to say, no, Ashley has shows? People are like, oh my God, do you guys have shows? I'm like, I just go where Ashley goes.
We recorded with our guest today, so we did have a reason. We recorded with Gabby in New York.
I had already agreed before we had a work reason. People are like, are you going for dates? I'm like, I lived in New York 15 years. I have a lot of friends. I'm just going to go.
Yeah, we do all the things.
Yeah.
So we went to New York for the week and I was pre-gaming my tour. I wanted to run the full hour that I'm for the most part going to do on tour. And I wanted to do it in New York. I wanted to do it at the Stand. And so, and then just do sets all week. I did 11 sets and ran the hour twice in
I barely saw you.
5 days.
It's pretty crazy how much, I mean, not how much work you put into it, because you always put hard work into this. And I think you really take it seriously.
Thanks.
But we worked all day every day. And then you went to work at night.
It really, by the Saturday night, so I did pretty much, I ran the hour twice and did 2 shows. And then every other night I did like 3 sets. And honestly, by Saturday, I was like, I did too much. Whoever saw me at the 9 on Saturday, I'm sorry. I had nothing left.
I don't know how you been.
Like, I just felt like I never would have done this. And outside of this situation, I would have taken one night at least. Like, it just was a lot to work all day and then go out and perform all night. And it did start to wear on me at the very end, but I'm really glad I got the reps in. And I just feel so good about the material, like just have it all out there. And I just feel really proud and just so happy to, I get like emotional, like so happy to share it with you guys on tour. It's just storytelling and obviously comedy and humor. And I'm just really proud of how it all came together. And it was so great to have you there and like immediately getting off stage. Like I have to hear your thoughts and opinions. And like we had the exact same feeling on like a part I want to take out and what we can put in there. And I've been like working that out. And it's just, I felt like so happy to have all my friends around me, you, Andrew, Colin, even like Bobby and Izzy of kind of like giving me feedback on kind of like what to sub into this one kind of missing chunk. And then I was able to really get there by the end of the week. So I feel great. And I can't wait to see you guys. And at this point I've done Chicago, but I have Phoenix this weekend with Rayna Greenberg and Brittany Schmidt. It's like a girls trip, girls night. I can't wait. You guys come to Phoenix. It's going to be so fun. The 3 of us.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's going to be wild. And then I'll just rattle off the cities: Miami, Tampa, Salt Lake. Can't wait to be there. So excited. We haven't been there in a while. Pasadena, right, down the street. Portland, Oregon. Washington, D.C. Toronto, Denver. Then here in L.A., a hometown show. Charlotte, Atlanta, San Diego, and San Francisco. And I may be adding some more. We'll see. And then my goal is to shoot a special and then get married. And that's the Sex Before Marriage tour. And you guys can get tickets at ashhess.com.
I felt a real rush watching you walk off stage the first time. I've seen most of your material, but watching you run it for the first, I felt just such a rush of like pride. You've worked for this for a really long time. This is the culmination of all that. So I'm excited. I'm sad I can't be there in Chicago this weekend. But you'll be with Sparkle Eyes.
Yeah, he'll be fine. My friend Oscar Aiden is going to open, and he'll be on some tour dates too. Brittany's coming to a few. Brittany will come to Salt Lake, which will be really fun. Just me and Brittany in Mormon country. Just 2 sluts. That's really it. So ashhess.com for tickets for the Sex Before Marriage tour, and I'll see you guys out there.
Well, I'm excited for you. Okay.
How was your week in New York?
My week was great. You weren't there with me as much socializing. So
you were out.
I did a lot of one-on-one hangs with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I did a lot of like group hangs without you.
Crazy.
I'm just like, I'm finding my way in the world.
It was
you.
really weird. Like, obviously I saw you every day, but it was weird to be like, what are you doing tonight? Like, I have to go work.
Nobody made me make reservations, that's for sure. I was just flying on my own time.
Yeah.
It was nice. But you met me most nights. I saw you most nights. No, I had this very funny situation happen with this guy that we have just been like laughing about so hard for days.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, I have enjoyed dating like a few people at once and having a bunch of guys in the mix because like it makes everything kind of less serious. And that doesn't mean you let people, by the way, like treat you like shit. It just it makes it easier when somebody's behavior isn't great to be like, I don't care about you.
Like the stakes are lower. You don't have all your eggs in one basket.
I don't care about you and I don't care about this.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to someone else.
Yeah, I have other people to talk to. I had gone out with this guy and I really liked him. We had a really fun time together, and right away he had like scheduled plans with me, and we were like talking a bunch and sending like playlists, and I just like really we have a lot of things in common, a lot of similar hobbies, and I really enjoyed him. I was attracted to him and I was excited to see him again. And he had made a plan with me to see me, I don't know, it was like a Monday night. I was going to see him on a Tuesday. And Monday night, he had like confirmed. Tuesday, he canceled. And he said, I had this work thing come up, whatever. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
And he was like, let's just like reschedule when I get back in town. So he picked the day. So this is
the week. Like he was like, let's reschedule for 1 week from now. I'm going out of town this weekend. I don't need a day to recharge. Like next Tuesday, it's on.
Yeah. It was a pretty, like, you couldn't misinterpret it.
It was firm plans. He was not like, I'll hit you up next Tuesday and we'll see. It was firm.
He said,
let's said the word firm.
He said,
I know it was firm because he said it was firm.
Let's firm up these plans. He's like, I'm going to go out of town. I'm going to recover this day.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Tuesday. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, it was concrete.
He said, I'll see you next Tuesday.
No.
No, he didn't. But he said, let's do it Tuesday. So I'm like, that's fine. So we texted a little. We DM'd a little bit. He went out of town. Sunday comes around. I'm assuming I'll like hear from him about the trip. I don't hear from him. Whatever. I don't care. That's not my boyfriend.
Yeah.
So Monday, I'm like, surely I'll hear from him today. Being like, see you tomorrow. Nothing. So Tuesday morning, I'm like, I'm not going to see him. Of course, I'm not going to see him. I think that you hear from people.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear from him. I never heard from him. And I think maybe some of you were like, well, why didn't you text him? Because I don't want to. Because he already canceled on me once. And so I'm not being like, hey, hello.
Buzz.
Yeah. If a person wants to see you, they'll see you. And I had already agreed to the previous plans, which he canceled.
Yep.
And I had agreed to the follow-up plans. So if you want to see me, you will check in with me.
Yeah. For the plans that you made.
Yeah, you made the plans. And then you made another firm plan.
Yeah.
So I didn't check in because I don't have to. That's
Yeah.
not how plans work. If a friend of mine canceled on me and rescheduled, I wouldn't check in.
Yeah.
So I don't hear from him. I'm like, then that's that. And that night you and I were like, what are we going to say to him? And I thought I would maybe say something like, hey, I know things come up, but I would have appreciated a heads up, which you are well within your right to do. I never hooked up with this guy. I didn't sleep with him. I don't think he owed me anything. We went out once. I did not need to have a discussion with an adult about their behavior. You made a plan with me. You blew me off. I don't need to send you a, hey, this really bothered me. If you want to, great.
I was like, he's going to reach out at some point. They always do. He's coming back around. We don't know when it's going to be. We don't know where it's going to be. If it's going to be on text, if it's going to be in the DMs, but he's coming back. And then you will say something. You're not just going to never let him, you will address it once he comes back around. You'll have your chance.
Yeah.
But your plan was never to like act like nothing happened and then just start chatty with him. Like
Chitty chatting.
Yeah, just chitty chatty with him.
I think that you're welcome to draw a boundary with somebody about how they communicate with you, but this guy wasn't trying to communicate with me. What was it, to draw a boundary with a person that didn't want to talk to me? I'm like, I don't like the way you treat me. And he's like, I don't want to treat you anyway.
Yeah.
That's the point of this. I didn't want to talk to you. So I just let it go. And I was like, at some point, I'll hear from him. So I did. 2 days later, he just responded to this Instagram story. How was your dinner at this place? I was like, what?
He's like, 2 days have gone by. I bet she forgot.
Yeah, I bet she just forgot. And again, not somebody I had like a deep romantic relationship with. It's fine. I wrote it was fine. He responded to another Instagram story. I totally ignored that one. And then the following week, a couple days ago, I posted I was going to Mexico City. Do people have recs? You guys, by the way, incredible. Our audience is amazing.
Best.
They sent me emails, DMs, so many different recs. And he texted me and said like, hey, how are you? I have tons of great Mexico City recs for you. And I was like, we're just not going to acknowledge this. We're just not going to say anything.
Right.
Did you think I was just going to not say something?
That's what he was hoping. That was the hope.
I expect this behavior from a 27-year-old man.
That's exactly what I said.
If I was describing it to like another friend, she was like, how old is this guy?
Yeah. It's young behavior.
42.
Yeah.
So this
Ew. Can you imagine turning 42?
Honestly, no.
Sick.
Sick. Yuck. We're kidding because Ashley's turning 42.
Okay.
We're not insulting our listeners. We're about to be there.
Oh my God.
So I just, in the past, I might have just brushed this under the rug and been like, I liked this guy. He blew me off. Let me just get back in there by any means possible. And in my younger years, I might have, or I might have been like, you blew me off. I might have like taken the bait and been like angry, but like, I just wanted to have like the lightest response to this ever. So what Ashley and I crafted together.
We were in the elevator going up and we came up with it. I've just said goodbye to Rayna on her floor. I'm like, have fun. Keep me posted.
It is such a rush.
Yeah.
Hitting send on that text you did with your friend.
Yeah. On this masterpiece you created with your friend.
But he was like, hey, I saw you're going to, Mexico City. I have so many good spots for you. So does the internet, by the way. Like, I don't need this. I don't need your recommendations. This is one of the most traveled to food destinations in North America, if not the world. It is the highest concentration of Michelin-starred restaurants. I have the whole internet. I have tons of friends. Somebody who made a plan with me and then blew me off twice.
Yeah.
I don't need your help.
And he just wants to flex.
That's all it is.
This is about him. This is bragging. He wants to be like, I've been there and I know what's good. Like, this isn't even about you. This is about him wanting to be Mr. Wreck guy.
Had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. So I wrote, hey, can I really trust the Rex with someone who blew me off twice? And
then we did a,
Little
we were just,
emoji,
the
like,
emoji was just like, can I though? The emoji really lightens it up.
well, it is light to
It's
me,
light.
you know, because
Yeah.
I believe you when people treat you a certain way, you should believe them. That was the behavior. If somebody wants to see you, they'll see you.
Yeah.
If he wanted to make a follow-up plan with me, he would have. He did not.
Yeah.
He wrote, I deserve that. Got me. Like what? I deserve that.
He's like, you know what I'm going to do is show accountability. This is, I Googled it and this is what ChatGPT said I should say to show accountability.
I deserve that is so funny. Like if somebody gave me their time and I did blow them off 2 times, it feels antagonistic. And I don't care about you, so it doesn't.
But I would never text them, can I give you some Rex? It's the audacity for me. We've all blown people off. But you don't come back around. Buzz, it's me. Remember I blew you off? That's what's so crazy. That's like the crazy male behavior.
It's crazy.
I mean, I think, I'm not saying he just decided he didn't like you and blew you off and ghosted you. I don't know what went through his head. But I'm just saying, like, women would be like, I made plans with this guy. I don't want to go. And I'm just going to see if I can ghost out of this. Like, I'm not saying that that's great behavior, but like, everybody's done it. You don't come back around.
You don't come back around and act like nothing happened.
Yes,
That's really like
that's what's so
insulting.
crazy. Yeah, exactly.
It's really disrespectful, and a person who looks at themselves of high quality, and you should, wouldn't put up with this shit.
Yeah.
So I deserve that. Technically only once, and it wasn't my fault per se, but sorry for that. I could break this sentence down for the rest of my life. First of all, technically once.
Technically.
He's like, technically, if you want to be semantical about it, I made up a lie to not see you the first time. So I didn't actually blow you off the first time. The first time I lied and said it was work related. The second time, you got me. I deserve that.
It's so insane.
Technically, you're going to tell me I'm wrong? You called me wrong?
This is so crazy. Also, how many times, what does it matter? Like, it's so crazy. Like, hey, you did this shitty thing twice. Technically once. It's crazy. It wasn't my fault per se is my favorite line of the year so far.
Whose fault was it? It wasn't my fault per se.
Not the per se.
I decided to make a firm plan with you. I didn't go to it, and I never acknowledged it. It wasn't my fault per se.
But which one isn't his fault? The first one, the lie one? He's still not addressing the second blow off.
So he actually, he conflated the two. Is what happened. So he is responding to 2 different things at once. He's saying, I deserve that. It was technically once, and it wasn't my fault per se. He's saying the first time was not his fault.
Yeah.
I had to read that a few times because
Yeah.
I was like, is he saying that he doesn't even remember that there was one time? Like, I thought he was correcting me. Like, it was only once.
No. Yeah.
And he's saying, like, the first time it was work related. It's not my fault per se.
Yeah.
At least I made up a lie to you the first time, so I didn't have to see you.
We were saying it wasn't my fault per se all week. We need merch. It wasn't my fault per se. I'm wearing that.
I think everybody should buy that for their partner,
Yeah.
for their male
It
partner.
wasn't my fault.
I think there's a lot of people that would just fall on their sword and be like, I know that sucked. Stuff came up. Stuff comes up. We're all strangers. I think that people are deeply nuanced, and so are their lives. And people are dealing with stuff in their lives,
Totally.
whether it's work-related, family-related, or maybe he didn't even really like me that much. I don't know. But like, to say, you got me, but it wasn't really my fault per se. It's so crazy, and I was trying to think, like, I do like this guy. It's not that big of a deal. It's light. So is there a way that I spin this so I could ever see him again? But he, like, refuses to say the things that would ever make me see a person again, which
Yeah,
is
that's
like,
his character.
I know that sucks, and, it's not really who I am, which he did say, that's not who I am. I'm a nice guy.
You guys.
Jessica just laughed out loud.
No, like, literally, we started asking ourselves and our friends, like, have you ever...
We started asking ourselves.
I couldn't help but wonder. No, like, legitimate good guy I know, like a guy I would consider to be like a genuine great guy, a great partner, a great friend, like our brothers, my fiance, Rob, like I'm just, all those guys. I've never heard them say I'm a nice guy. Like, I'm a nice guy is such a red flag. Nice guys, really like genuine, kind guys don't say that about themselves. I will stand by this. I mean, I could be, obviously there's exceptions to every rule, but like, I'm a nice guy. is a red flag.
I know. And he might not have liked me that much, but he did say, I'm really sorry. That's not who I am. And I said, who are you? Which just made me laugh.
Yeah,
I was
so
naked in
funny.
the shower. It was like 1:30 in the morning.
LOL, who are you?
I was drunk. Yeah, I said, LOL, who are you? He said, a nice person who doesn't intentionally blow people off. You did intentionally blow me off. What are you saying
It's so
to me?
crazy. I mean, that's the nail in the coffin is like, I'm a nice guy. After this?
Who didn't intentionally blow you off? What are you saying to me? You did.
Yeah.
But you did.
Well, it wasn't his fault per se.
It wasn't his fault per se.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, the way it all played out was just like a bummer and just like so immature. That's one of my main thing. It's just like, I don't know. This feels like par for the course in your 20s, maybe.
Totally.
Which is not acceptable no matter what, but it's just like, kids are going to kid.
I think you grow up and you just like learn to respect people's time a little bit
Yeah.
more. The stakes feel bigger and you've had more serious relationships. And I really wanted him to say like anything besides what he said.
Yeah.
I think he probably could look at this and be like, I said sorry twice. I said this is not who I am. I said it's not really my fault. I think he could be like, what I wrote was nice and I offered to help her. And I've offered twice. I just wanted, I don't know, I wanted him to just say like, let me make it up to you. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know that's a bummer. Let me make it up to you. He went on this trip. I think that it was like a bachelor party trip. I'm sure you are exhausted and fucked up and maybe hooked up with a bunch of girls there. And now hanging out with me making dinner does not sound so shiny.
Yeah.
You are banged up. But I just wanted like, sorry, let me make it up to you.
You know, again, like it's not all about age, but any grown up who is somewhat evolved should have handled it better.
Yeah. It's not how I would
You
treat
know?
somebody.
Yeah.
And I have to ask myself, like, is that how I want to be treated by somebody? It's
No.
not.
Yeah.
I think of myself as like a high value person. I don't want to be treated like that. And I think that like things aren't so heavy. And that's the thing that's like the podcast has brought me over the years. And I always say that like, I understand that people have shit and I'm not so like mad about this and how dare you, but like, I don't know. There's just like other ways to have approached it.
Yeah, I mean, and you got your point across, and I know what you did, and you said it in a light way, and that is not how some people would treat the situation, and that's okay. And you know, we have a friend who deals with situations like this, and she wants our advice, and she really gets angry, and she pops off, and I don't know. I think sometimes she may have a tendency to send messages and react in a way that has someone being like, "Whoa, like dodged a bullet there,"
Yes.
you know. And however you want to react is fine and feels authentic to you, but I'm big on like, how do I want to be perceived? Not that I care what this person thinks about me, but how do I want to look back on this situation and my reactions?
Yeah, I want to also think like how in 3 weeks am I going to look back and be proud of my behavior if I pop off on him?
Yeah.
In a year, am I going to look back and even remember this person's name? No. And yeah, at its core, it hurts my feelings to be blown off. I met somebody I liked. I had a lot in common with. I thought that he was attracted to me or liked me. It hurts when somebody decides to not treat you the best way possible, no matter who you are. Like at its core, it makes you feel a certain way. It makes you feel bad. But yeah, I don't want to look back and know that I don't know, brought a gun to a fist fight.
Right. Like you didn't have this history. Like
Yeah.
you weren't intimate at all. Like
At all.
exactly. And again, like it's just however you want to react that feels authentic to you. But sometimes I'm like, I want my reaction to match the intensity of the situation.
That's what it is. And maybe you want to fuck down the road. Maybe you want to leave the door open later on.
I can't trust him.
I can't.
I think he's shown us who he is, that unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and let's say he comes back around, he wants to do this big apology tour or whatever, and then I don't know, like you get in a relationship with him, and I'm never going to forget it. It wasn't my fault per se, guy.
Tinks has this very funny. Did you see that Tinks clip? She said like in the beginning of a relationship, like a lot of people are hesitant to like share stuff with their friends that this person does because they're like, my friends will never forget it. And she's like, I'm the friend that will never forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll never forget if somebody does my friend dirty.
Well, and it's like in a way that I never forget anything. I'm like evolved. It's a problem. And
That's a problem for me. Yeah.
but like, it's not that I'm going to keep bringing this up. It's just like, it's always in the back of my head because you are suspicious that it'll resurface. You know?
It's noted.
Yeah, like I always think about that. Like when relationships end, sometimes you're like, God, we saw that come. Like he showed us that so early on, and we just, you know, someone decided to overlook it, but you showed your character.
Yeah, I think that like there's certain things that can be worked on long term. And again, I was never in a relationship with this person, but not respecting other people's time, not respecting like plans. That's like pretty important to me. And it's
Totally.
it's a real boundary for me in a relationship. It would be.
Yeah, and then just the lack of responsibility. I don't know. Yeah. All right.
But it wasn't his fault per se.
It wasn't his fault per se. That's how Will feels about it.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up because I have to go to Mexico.
Okay.
And you have to go to Chicago.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about a couple of our partners. Okay, so Trade Coffee. I am a coffee girly.
It's so important to you.
It is like self-care to me. Like my morning cup of coffee is a must. Like I'm just such a I love to share coffee with like a friend and my partner. And I'm just like, it's just so huge for me. I know a lot of people feel this way. They love coffee, but like I get excited about it.
It's the first thing I do every morning.
Exactly.
Now I do stretches that your brother prescribed and then I drink a cup of coffee. It's the first thing I do. And it's important to me to pick one that tastes good.
I would actually probably have a partner that like didn't drink alcohol before, someone that didn't drink coffee. Like I want to share that with somebody.
Oh wow.
It's very important to like share that.
Totally.
It's a love language. So I think that sets the tone for why I love Trade so much. So Trade is the #1 US specialty coffee marketplace, bringing you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. So this is so fun. You can go on their website and you can like find a roaster from, I don't know, a place you visited or maybe where you're from. And their experts have taste tested thousands of coffees to curate over 450 amazing roasts. So whether you're new to coffee or you know your favorites, they're going to handpick the perfect coffee for you. You're going to take a quiz. They'll match you with your perfect coffee. And if that bag isn't quite right, they will replace it for free until they nail it. So they're just like, we want to find the perfect coffee for you. Every bag is roasted to order. You'll taste and smell the difference from your very first cup. Their prices are on par with grocery store brands, but the quality is next level, and you're supporting these local roasters. So I love everything they have to offer, and I've gotten a few, but one that I'm loving that I got is from Atomic Coffee Roasters. They're out of Massachusetts. They're from Peabody, Mass, and it's the Space Cadet coffee. It is medium roast, tasty notes, brown sugar, ripe fruit, milk chocolate. I'm just obsessed. And, you know, just my fiance's from Boston. Like I kind of like the Mass connection, and I've had some other ones too. But I'm just really, really loving it. And I'm just going to keep doing this. And you guys can shop. Again, you're going to take the quiz and you're just going to find your perfect coffees. And you can decide if you want them full bean or already ground, and the type of coffee maker you have, like all that is going to be options for you too. So right now, Trade is exclusively offering our listeners 40% off your first order at drinktrade.com/eat. That's drinktrade, TRAD.com/eat for 40% off your first order. drinktrade.com/eat.
Okay, and you guys all know the feeling. You kind of sign up for something, a subscription, you forget about the trial period ending, and then you're charged month after month after month. I probably had so many of these. The subscriptions are there, but you're not using them. And in fact, I just learned that 85% of people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month. I had so many more than that, you guys. But thanks to Rocket Money, I can see all my subscriptions in one place and cancel the ones I'm not using anymore. And now I'm saving even more. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I mean, I love this app. I loved it when I got in there. The interface is super easy to use, and you can see all the subscriptions you're paying for in one place. So I bet you have a ton of stuff floating out around there that you did not even know existed, and they will help you in their dashboard. It gives you like a clear view of your expenses, your subscriptions, so you can kind of make a plan for yourself, which is very important. We have a great episode about money coming up, but they really are the one-stop shop. They're going to help you negotiate lowering your bills as well. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/GGE. That's rocketmoney.com/GGE. rocketmoney.com/GGE.
Okay, booking.com.
Are you ready to sing a song?
This episode of Girls Gotta Eat is brought to you by Booking.com, the official accommodation partner of MLB. Booking.com, booking.yeah. It's spring into summer. It is baseball season. We love Booking.com. They are the official accommodation partner of MLB. And we also love them as well for booking our stays. We were just in New York, like we were talking about, and that's where we booked our hotel stay. And we've always been fans of booking with them. There's anything you could imagine, wide variety of stays. You're looking for a vacation home, a 5-star hotel, or even a cabin in the woods. You guys can book with booking.com. And, let's talk about the MLB side of it. So we love going to baseball games. We've been talking about how we're going to go here in LA. And, when you go to a baseball game, one of the best parts is when the stadium sings a song you all know and love together. We created our own version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game,
which we're going to all sing together.
Yay!
Okay, ready?
All right.
Take me out to the Hamptons.
Rayna, you're a little quick.
No, now you don't like that I'm doing it with you.
1, 2, 3. Hit it.
Take me out to the Hamptons. Take me out to Rainapalooza. Then to Vegas for Ashley's bachelorette. At the mail review, everyone will be wet. Let us book with booking.com. And then we get ready to thrive. Because it's 1, 2, 3 clicks, you're booked for the summer of 2025. I think my cadence was perfect.
You did. Everyone can feel that you got to get out of here in 10 minutes.
People...
Rayna said if it's 1:45 and we're not done, she's walking out.
I said I will walk off this set.
Booking.com wants to help make you a fan of any U.S. city with a chance to win $1,000 in Booking.com travel credit. All you have to do is head to Booking.com's Instagram page. It's at Booking.com, and check out their sweepstakes post for more details. And let's get into it with Gabby.
All right, guys, we are very excited to welcome our guest today. She is a renowned spiritual teacher and a #1 New York Times bestselling author. She has been hailed as the next generation thought leader by Oprah Winfrey. She is the author of 10 bestselling books, including The Universe Has Your Back, Super Attractor, and Happy Days. She is the host of the podcast Dear Gabby, and she frequently appears on The Today Show and Good Morning America, among others, to share her expertise in meditation, manifestation, and cultivating inner peace. Her newest book is out now, Self-Help. Please welcome to the show, Gabby Bernstein.
You guys, I love that I'm on Girls Gotta Eat. And the second I sat down, I was like, I'm going to eat a cheese wheel right now. Like the little milk from the deli bodega cheese wheel.
No, you got the old school, Baby Bell, little netting, the wax.
The netting.
The wax. It's just
Girls
iconic.
Gotta Eat.
Girls Gotta Eat.
You
came in hot.
A girl was hungry and she's like, blood sugar is going, whatever. I don't know what it's doing. So gotta eat.
If you have coffee on an empty stomach, what will happen? Is it a jittery
I'm getting
thing?
I'm 45 years old. I'm getting very nerdy. I'm going through perimenopause. I'm getting super I'm on HRT. I'm super nerdy about all of my fitness. By the way, my fitness markers are fucking awesome right now. A year ago, prior to being treated for perimenopause, I was like a shit show. It was I was skinny fat, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even though I worked out. And then I started getting all my healing and everything going, and my heavy weights and my high protein and my hormones and all the things. And I literally just did one of those BMI and whatever, all the whatever they are. And I was an athlete shape.
I mean, we could just talk about perimenopause in this episode. It's not talked about enough.
It's here. We were talking about it.
Okay, good. No, I'm glad.
It's a spiritual shakedown. Yeah. We can go there.
All right. Well, we were just talking previously, and you said you've been in the, I'll call it self-help industry for 20 years.
Yes.
And you've written so many books, and you've probably seen a huge evolution of this industry in general. So for people who don't know who you are, can we just talk about your journey?
Yeah, totally.
How we got here?
So I think I've definitely been at the forefront of the zeitgeist of people seeking spirituality and wellness. I started my career when I was 25. I first got sober at 25 years old. And in my sobriety, I started reclaiming a lot of my spiritual faith. Because as a child, I was brought up learning to meditate and brought to ashrams. And
were?
My mom was very spiritual.
Yeah.
And so I had that foundation. And so then I returned to it in my sobriety and very quickly started giving talks. So I would go to the Soho House and give talks, or to the Gay, Lesbian, Transgender Center across the street from my apartment in the West Village. And I would set up the chairs and it would say Gabby at the door. And it was hundreds of, 20-something New York women that were out on a Friday night coming to hear me give a talk about spirituality and forgiveness and manifesting. And it was this new wave of now those 20-year-old women are in their 40s with me now, but it was this new wave of spirituality. It was a next generation spiritual message.
Yeah.
And it was way before anyone was gluten-free. No one was drinking green juice. Like I would go to these raw food parties in this neighborhood. We're in the East Village right now. That like rollerblade to these raw food parties. And it was like a weird thing to drink a green juice. And I'd be like telling my friends that we're like eating like raw pizzas. And they'd be like, what is that? You know, this was very at the forefront of this wellness movement, frankly. And so it's interesting now to kind of be 20 years later in a different generation now of this new generation of sort of wellness, mind manifesting seekers, and to see the difference and to see where we were to where we are now. But yeah, I spent the last 20 years developing, even living 3 blocks away from here, which is just, it's so beautiful to be back in this neighborhood.
Yeah,
I've really been back since the pandemic. And I'm in awe of that time of just speaking at the Middle Church right up here, like 3 blocks away, was like my spiritual home. And it actually burnt down during COVID. And now it's back. And I told them I want to get back there. It's like a Unitarian church. And
that's what my parents are, Unitarian.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just recall this fond memories of being this 20, 30-year-old just busting through New York City, just speaking on spiritual principles and building this movement of new seekers.
Well, I have so many questions, but like what brought you to do that? What started that? I mean, you grew up in that way.
Yeah, I was brought up that way. I think that there is this Joan of Arc quote that I like, which is, I am not afraid I was born to do this. And it feels very much aligned with me and my mission, because while I can, sit here and we can talk about our nails and we can be very much in the world, I've always very much felt like that veil has been lifted for me between a world beyond my physical sight. I've always been able to feel connected to the spiritual realm and to channel and to have deep, deep spiritual meditative practice. And it's been not a spiritual part of my life, but I've lived a spiritual life. And so I've always known, in a sense, even as a kid, I was the president of the Jewish youth group and like leading these like hundreds of kids like in the temple, but like being like this like spiritual Sherpa at like 13, like I knew that this was what I was here to do, is to crack people open to a way of seeing the world in a different lens. And so it's just what I know I came here for.
Did this help you get sober, or did you rediscover this after your sobriety?
Oh, it definitely helped, because I had my stack of self-help books next to my bed, and I'd be like at my after-hours parties in my studio apartment doing coke and whatever, and I'd be like pointing to my stack of self-help books and telling the random strangers in my apartment, I'm going to be a motivational speaker and a self-help book author, and they'd be like,
they're like, you're on coke, Gabby.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But I knew. And that foundation was there. And so that foundation was what allowed me to, on October 2nd of 2005, hit my knees and ask the universe for a miracle. And I said, I need a miracle. And I actually heard an inner voice say to me, get clean and you will live a life beyond your wildest dreams.
Oh, wow.
And that day I went to Second right over here to a meeting, to a 12-step meeting, and I've been sober ever since.
Oh my gosh.
So this neighborhood's like really,
I know. I can like feel it like coming off of you. Like
this is my hood, you guys.
I love that we're recording with you here. The only place I've lived in New York is the East Village. So, but it means a lot to us too.
Yeah. So you talk about in your work, there's a lot about manifestation and spirituality and trusting that the universe will give you what is meant for you and things like that. For those who don't really know what manifestation is, and we've talked about it on the show a lot, and Ashley and I's, how we digest what quote unquote manifestation is. Personally, for me, it's not necessarily like trust that things will happen. It's like set an intention and then work towards that thing. Actionable goals. So that's the interpretation of manifestation for me. And I'm curious what your interpretation of manifesting is.
And if it's changed.
So simply put, we manifest what we believe. We manifest who we are. So the beliefs that we have an energy, right? So if we're walking around feeling like I'm not good enough, or I can't attract love, or I'm not worthy of abundance, we feel a low vibration. We feel funky. That energy is what we're putting out, and that energy is what we get back. We manifest the energy that we are. So we have a lot more power than we think, because our real power is to heal. Our real power is to befriend the parts of ourselves that feel so stuck, to heal the beliefs that hold us back. And so while I've written 10 books on the topic of manifestation and spirituality, they're really at their core self-help books because they're designed to help you heal the beliefs that block you from the manifestation that you are. And so the key to manifesting isn't like, how many times can I write it down on a vision board, or how many ways can I repeat this, or all the bullshit TikTok things that you see out there, which maybe they work a little bit because they're making you focus on something, but those are just tricks. You don't need to play tricks with the universe. You just are all day, every day manifesting and attracting. But the real manifesting flex, the real way to attract what you want is to heal the beliefs that you don't want.
I love that because I think, people can kind of tie manifestation into privilege and like, oh, I would just love to just like wish these things, but I'm starting at like a low baseline maybe of where a lot of healing needs to be done.
Everybody's got a lot of healing that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Some more than others. Some people just have a little bit more ease in life and maybe their brain chemistry is a little different, or they've had less trauma in their past. But we've all got shit, okay? And that past experience, whatever it might be, big T trauma, little T trauma, the experiences from our past, it dictates who we are in the present. And so in every moment, we all have a choice. We can keep repeating the patterns and beliefs that we've been carrying and keep living the life that we're living. Or we can start to undo some of those belief systems and befriend the parts of ourselves that need to be healed. And it's not necessarily what the listener wants to hear right out of the bat. They came here. And they're like, this is a topic on manifesting. Like, who's going to tell me how to get what I want? That's not what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that you can have everything you want far beyond your wildest dreams when you turn inward and heal.
I like the discussion of like the things that you tell yourself will become your reality, and that it's so much negative self-talk of like, no one ever loves me, or I'm not meant for greatness. Why does everybody else get this thing that I can't have? And you do start to like, I guess for lack of it, vibrate on a different level.
Yep.
And start, when you're starting from a negative place and you don't like yourself, you sometimes attract not great things into your life. It's not your fault. There's people go through all kinds of issues. It's hard to just pick yourself up out of bed when you're like, my last 4 relationships ended. And every one of those guys found their partner right after me. I'm the last girl that everybody dates before they find their partner. I'm just making up these things. But like, it's hard to stop telling yourself those stories.
So those stories, if you'd ask yourself about those stories, everybody knows those stories. You guys know your stories?
Yeah.
Whatever they might be, limiting beliefs, right? And then if you ask yourself, how long have those stories been around? Let me ask you, how long have your stories been around?
The stories we tell ourselves or just in the world?
The limiting beliefs that you might have in your own life. You don't have to say what they are, but are you familiar with some of them?
Yeah, since childhood.
Since childhood, yeah.
Probably for like since middle school for me.
Yeah. For example, I'll use myself as an example. I had a belief, and I'm going to say had because I've really worked with a lot of work on it, and I feel really healed. That was, if I don't do it, nobody else will do it.
Okay.
And I lived with that belief up until a few months ago. Really, it's like a quantum shift recently, but not a quantum shift. Like it's been decades of healing to get to this point. And if I were to ask myself, how long has that belief been around? As long as I can remember. As long as I can remember. Since I was a little small child.
This is just that you can't trust that other people will take care of things unless you are in charge of it. Okay.
Exactly. Okay. And why? Because I was a child who didn't have neglect and didn't have had trauma as a child and didn't have the support systems that I needed. And so, of course, as a little girl, I would protect myself with the belief that I got to do it. I got to control everything to feel safe. So did you notice I said the word protect? So the beliefs that we have that are creating the world that we don't want to have are actually protection mechanisms.
So you become like really good at this thing that you feel like there's a deficit all around you.
Yeah. The protection mechanisms can show up in all kinds of ways, right? So it could be a belief, right? Like if I don't do it, nobody else will. So I got to control everything and do it. Or it could be a perfectionism. Like if I'm not perfect, I'm not good enough. Or it could be I'm not good enough. It could just be I'm not good enough and I'm going to play small. That's a protection mechanism.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or I'm going to, drink over my problems, or I'm going to judge over my problems, or everybody else is out to get me. All these stories that we've been repurposing and replaying, they're very young. They've been around forever, and they're protecting us. And what are they protecting us from? They're protecting us from very impermissible feelings from childhood. So moments in time where we felt unlovable or inadequate or not good enough, or we felt like we weren't getting the care that we needed, right away, what did we do? We started to protect ourselves.
Sure.
Because we didn't want to feel those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know how to process them.
Is some of that good because it's self-preservation and it's learning strength from the bad things that happen around you?
These parts of us have a lot of value, right?
Yeah.
So like, let's take, and I'm probably talking about them as parts of ourselves because it's kind of leaning into self-help, my new book. They're aspects of ourselves, right? They're like little inner children, right? And my controller part, right, created a lot of chaos in my life, led me to addiction, created chaos in my relationships at work, and was just sort of unable to be present. But guess what? She also wrote 10 spiritual self-help books in 14 years, and she's served a lot of souls. And so there's duality there, right? There's good aspects of these parts of ourselves, but then the goal isn't to make them stop. The goal is to help soothe these parts of ourselves so that we can be less extreme. So that controller part now is still around. She's a kick-ass businesswoman. She's running a team. She's very clear with her managers and agents about what she wants and needs. You know what I'm saying? She's on a mission. She's not like freaking out every day, right? So it's healing these aspects so that they can be in their most developed role.
Well, you said this was recent. So here you are, I've been doing this for 20 years, 10 books, and you were still having this mindset. Like, was there a catalyst, or was it just you just feel like something finally clicked? Or
yeah, I think that I've been doing personal development work hardcore for 20 years and spiritual work. And then, of course, even prior to that, I had my own spiritual practices. I think that there does come a point where you have been on your journey, whether it be therapeutic, self-help, spiritual, all of the above, where there's a tipping point. You wake up new. And I can only say that because I'm living it. And I think that's really important to say, because I think a lot of people are walking around like, is this it? Like, there has to be a better way, right? Or like, things look good on the outside, but it's not so good on the inside. Or why do I keep attracting that shit that I don't want?
Yeah.
And is it ever going to change? And we feel so hopeless in that. And so I want to be a beacon of hope. I want to be a hope merchant for everybody and just say that you do the inner work heals you, you can wake up new.
Well, you opened this book, Self-Help, in the first chapter talking about, and I want to get into it, but teaching this, it's called the Internal Family Systems Therapy, and it's someone else's coursework, essentially. And you talk about how, like, who am I to write this book, and who am I to talk about this? And then you do this exercise in the book where you say to yourself, I want to tell myself the things that are true, which is that I've done this work for 20 years, I've written 9 other books, and you sort of make a list of, like, you challenge those beliefs of, like, who am I? And it's interesting that somebody like you can even have imposter syndrome. But you open the book with the imposter syndrome, essentially.
Yes,
and like, who am I to do this? And I found it to be a good exercise because, like, when you say to yourself, I'm not good enough or I can't do this, it's nice to pause and tell yourself the things that are true.
Yeah. And even before that, what was so ingrained in me is the 4 steps in the book, which is when you notice yourself in imposter syndrome or a fear-based lack mentality or the story, I'm not good enough, or everybody else has it, I don't have it, whatever your story is, instead of judging yourself or picking up a drink or going and overing, right? Like eating it over it or drinking over it or dating over it or whatever, you check in with it. Like, what if you just checked in with that belief? And then what if you became a little curious about that belief? And you're like, oh, like, where do I feel that? And like, let me give it some breath. Are there any thoughts that want to come forward? And just give it a little bit of connection. And then what if you asked that part of yourself, like, what do you need right now? Like, when was the last time you asked yourself, what do I need?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think I do that. I think I know when I'm starting to spiral.
Yes.
So
instead of spiraling, what if you had a 4-step inquiry that you could do?
Yeah. I mean, we all have different things they run the gamut, but it might be that I just need to go do something, like go do yoga, go work out, go play with my dog. I mean, just kind of stop those from going any further.
Yes. There's great practice in interrupting the pattern, but the greatest is to rewire your brain simultaneously. So the steps that are in this book are, like you said, based on a therapy called Internal Family Systems Therapy, but I've made it a self-help practice. And I'm trained in IFS. I'm level 2 trained in this therapy, though I'm not a therapist. I have the certified training, and I've gone on to make it self-help. And so the thesis is that when we actually do turn inward and we do just sort of become curious about these parts of ourselves and we give it a little bit of breath, what happens is that we start to feel a calmness come over us. And we might feel some compassion towards ourselves. and maybe we feel a little bit more connection or clarity. Like we're like, oh, okay, like that's not who I am. It's just a part of who I am. And it's just kind of showing up right now. Or we feel like a little bit of creative energy kind of change. And we start to feel different. Those C qualities of clarity and compassion and calm, that's actually what in IFS is called self-energy. That's like your spiritual presence. It's like your inner parent, your internal guide. We all have it. So when you check in like that, that self-energy emerges. And that new energy, self, can help.
And is there a part of it that's telling yourself, like, that's not true?
What will emerge is not so much about, like, talking back to these parts of yourselves. It's about caring for them. Do you guys have children?
No.
Okay. Do you have kids in your life?
Yeah.
Okay. That you like nieces, nephews, that kind of thing? Okay. If those little kiddos came over to you and they were like, I'm so upset. Like, I'm not good enough. I suck. Like, I can't do my blah, blah, blah. What would you say to them?
That's not true.
What else might you do?
Compliment them, like the positive affirmations, and like it's like you were smart. You were like from the help.
Might you be like, why would you say something? Why would you say like asking them?
I guess I'm a little more
curiosity?
action based. I could see myself saying, well, like, I don't think that's true about you. But if that's a thing that you feel, let's unpack it. Let's figure out a course of action.
Them.
Yeah.
You'd connect with them.
Yes.
You'd be compassionate towards them.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I guess my instinct is to counteract the
Okay,
negative
so you'd want to
with
help
the positive.
them. You want to help,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so when these little parts of yourself inside get activated, like you're feeling like not good enough or inadequate, what do you do? How do you speak to those parts of yourself?
Again, I think I kind of have to focus on the good. Like, I think I need to tell myself that's not true. I think we all have our own self-talk and, like, why do we get here? Like, what made me get to this thought? Like, what number of small things led to this?
Is that working for you?
Yeah. I'm a pretty happy person.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to brag. I feel
It
at this
sounds like
point in
you've
my
got
life,
tools.
I feel
You've got
really
tools.
stable and happy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the grand scheme of the world, but in my like personal life, I feel
If we
pretty
dug a
good.
little deeper, and this isn't just you, it's just people in general, the human condition. When we fall back into these patterns and behaviors that are just sort of like funky, we often are going to judge ourselves. We're often going to be like, oh, why'd you do that again? Or, you know, how did we end up here again? Or do something to avoid having to feel that feeling, even overriding it with like, well, that's not true. That's not true. Right? It's not really connecting to it. It's being like, nope, whitewashing it, right? Like, oh, that's not true. That's fine. You're fine. You're fine. Right? Like what a parent might do. It's like, you're upset and your parent might be like, you're fine. You're fine. No, that's like saying, go fuck yourself. Right? So there's a deeper healing inquiry that we really all want and need. And it's about becoming our own inner parent.
I guess for me, I find a lot of comfort in just like action plan. Like, okay, if you tell yourself you're the only single girl in the group, which I am a lot of the time, all right, well, if I don't like this about myself, what's the action plan to fix it? Like, I try to not marinate too long on like, well, no one loves me. No one's ever going to love me. You know, maybe you can challenge that belief for a minute.
I would challenge the action plan.
Challenge the action plan.
Yeah.
So?
Do you want that support right now? Like, do you want me to suggest that?
Yeah, I want to talk about dating. I think that'd be great.
Let's
so
go
let's talk
there.
about
Okay.
like if somebody says like no one's ever going to want me, everybody around me has all these relationships. I challenge you to look at the relationships around you. And do you want to be in those? No. But yeah, let's talk about that belief.
The action plan is excellent. I love the action plan. I think that it's much more high vibe than woe is me and blah, blah, blah. I think it's absolutely excellent. Like, I don't want you to stop the action plan.
Okay.
But I might suggest that the action plan might be a protection mechanism.
Okay.
Can you get behind that?
Sure.
Right? Like, I don't want to feel that feeling like, oh, so-and-so's now engaged or so-and-so's now got a new boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Now I got to go pick up the app and do the thing and da-da-da-da. It's a way of overing. Just let me ask you, does it feel like it could be a little bit protective?
Well, let me ask you.
Yes.
The counter to that is that I would like lay in bed and feel bad for
Nope,
myself.
that's
and
not what I want
scroll-
either.
And scroll
Right.
Instagram and be
Yeah.
like, everybody has this thing I want. And
That's why I like the action plan. I
Yeah.
feel like the action plan is a positive, self-like quality. Okay. So it's like, obviously you have a lot of motivation. You lean positive. You're a high vibe woman. So that's excellent. And I'm very proud of that action plan. But what I would actually put in place before the action plan.
Okay.
There's a step before the action
Okay,
plan.
give me
Okay.
it, give
And
me
this
it.
is going to change your life. And that's why the subtitle is This is Your Chance to Change Your Life.
yeah.
Is to not override the feeling. Because that feeling of not having it, right? Or the belief or the story of they have it, I don't have it. I don't want you to override it. I want you to befriend it. Okay. And so 4 steps. Instead of going right into action, which sounds like it's your default, just take 1 minute. And you can use the book, or I can give you my app and you can go through, I can take you through it audibly. It's like you can meditate with me. And you do the first step, which is choose to check in with that feeling instead of just checking out with the action plan.
Okay.
So just you're taking 1 minute and you're like, okay, I'm going to choose to check in instead of check out. Step 2 is just be curious. Where do I feel that in my body? And maybe you get a little teary. Maybe you feel like a little bit of like this, the gut punch or the feeling in your chest. We all have different somatic experiences. And you're curious about it. And then you'd be like, what are the thoughts or feelings or sensations connected to it? And let it talk to you. Like just give that feeling some permission to be present with you and to soften and to just be there. And when you feel you have a little connection to it, the next question would be, third step, compassionate connection. What do you need? Just ask that part of yourself, what do you need?
Okay.
Don't question what you hear. You might hear, I need to rest. I need to go for a walk. I need to call a friend and cry. I need to journal. I need to let it out, right? Maybe it might say, I need to just be with this feeling right now. Okay. The third step is to breathe into that and then notice the C qualities, the 4th step. Notice if you feel more clarity, if you feel a little bit more calm, if you feel a little bit more connected to the feeling than that belief, if you have a little courage, if you have a little bit of creative energy, if you have a little bit of compassion towards yourself, and these C qualities are self. That's yourself, okay? Then once you have that calmness or like a touch more compassion towards yourself or a little bit of clarity, then you can go on the app. Then you can, text that guy that you like.
Got it.
That energy is a super attractor energy, not the, I feel this shitty feeling, I'm going to go do something over it. That's not a manifesting energy.
Okay.
That's a fixing energy.
Okay.
What we want to do is go in and do that 4 steps. If you do this for 40 days, I fucking guarantee you're going to have a whole different dating experience.
So I have been checking in with that feeling. I guess maybe like I don't identify it as that, but like
you do
I
it.
Feel like dating has been really fun for me.
Self-reflect.
Yeah, I'm not like I feel bad. Let's fix
Let's
it.
go on the app.
Okay.
That's not her at all. We've been trying to get her on the apps for years. That's not her. That's her.
But there is an action step.
Yes, but I feel like I check with myself. I'm really lucky.
By the way, I have somebody to set you up with.
Okay.
Like a great guy in
Yes,
LA.
Gabby, do it.
Like my best
What?
friend from growing up.
Yes.
My best friend from growing up.
Love it. I'm really touched
Oh my
that like you
God.
would want to set me up with a friend of yours.
Oh, fuck
Thank
yeah.
you.
He's the best.
No, I love great.
Okay, we're going to take a little break and then we'll get right back into it with Gabby. You guys know that I am obsessed with decor, home design, and I couldn't be happier that we partner with Article. They make it effortless to create a stylish, long-lasting home at an unbeatable price. So online, you can shop their site and see how they curate different rooms together. Also, their Instagram is great, but there's tons of different styles. They have mid-century modern, coastal, which is really my favorite. I live at the beach. Scandi-inspired pieces that not only shine on their own, but also pair seamlessly with everything else on the site. And you never have to compromise on quality. They take great care in curating collections, and they focus solely on high quality, meaningful pieces. The packaging is meticulous. They offer fast, affordable shipping and assembly, so you can watch it arrive to you. I've had really great experiences with their delivery.
Second to none. And really bad ones with other companies.
Yes, we have.
Insane stuff.
So whatever room that you want to update, I mean, it's starting to get nice outside and they have great outdoor furniture. I'm crazy about I'll probably say the word wrong, La Home, LAHOLM, 78-inch outdoor chaise lounge. They're just beautiful. The quality looks great. It'll really upgrade your outdoor space because we're going to be spending some more time outdoors, thankfully. And they have a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, so you can shop with confidence. They're really just great. The furniture is high quality. It's beautiful. It's really easily curated for you on the website. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/GGE and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/GGE for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Okay, and I'm telling you guys about Nutrafol. So I take this every single day. It has really helped me with all of my hair issues. And earlier, Gabby was mentioning perimenopause. And so I wanted to share a stat that more than half of women experience menopausal hair thinning. It's more common than you think. Chances are you know someone going through it. Nutrafol Women's Balance is a daily hair growth supplement physician formulated for women 45 and up, targeting the key root causes of menopausal hair thinning, like shifting hormones, stress, and aging. So we want to kind of talk about this in light of Mother's Day and why it can make a great gift, but also for yourself. I mean, my hair issues were due to hormonal changes. And so that is something that really does affect so many women, and it can be really frustrating. And I mean, depending on your level of hair thinning, just really devastating, and it can affect your self-confidence and how you feel about yourself. So I just am so glad Nutrafol has been there for me and for so many women. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. That's why this Mother's Day, Nutrafol makes the perfect gift. There is something for every mom on your list. The postpartum formula is great for women in the first year after giving birth. A lot of women get really thick, full hair during the pregnancy and they lose it. I mean, it's heartbreaking.
I see it with everybody around us.
Yes. On top of like everything you're also dealing with as a new mom, the Women's Balance formula is perfect for women 45 and up experiencing perimenopause or menopause. And of course, the women's formula are great for those who are in between life stages. So again, they have all these different formulas: women, women's vegan, women's balance, and then postpartum for whatever you're going through. With Nutrafol, you will see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair and less shedding in just 3 to 6 months. So again, this is something that I've really turned to, and I know so many women that have, especially after giving birth and, going into menopause. So this Mother's Day, consider Nutrafol the best-selling hair growth supplement, whether you're gifting to yourself or a loved one. Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off any order. Enjoy free shipping when you subscribe. Go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code GGEGIFT. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code GGEGIFT. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code GGEGIFT.
And this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. So let's talk about the cost of therapy. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per person. Obviously, that adds up fast. That makes it not accessible for a lot of people. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save an average up to 50% per session. So I love that they're making it affordable and accessible. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, so you can save big on cost and time. And like I said, it should feel accessible to go to therapy and not just a luxury. So they're working to make it accessible, and your mental health is worth it. And now it's within reach. Obviously, Ashley and I really believe in therapy. It can help you with so many things, whether it's just goal setting or working on boundaries, coping mechanisms. Maybe there's a relationship in your life you want to work on. Maybe you don't have a relationship in your life and you'd like to have one romantically, of course. So it can empower you to just be a better version of yourself, the best version of yourself. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient too. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life, plus switch therapists at any time. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/GGE today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GGE.
Okay, let's get back into it.
I'm really lucky. I said to a girlfriend I was taking a walk with the other day, I said, I had a pretty hard couple months, and it really actually allowed me to be like, I have really great women in my life that I can stop and talk to them. And I know that's what friends are for, but I've really done that. I'm really proud of that. I did marinate in the I feel sad that I'm single. There was somebody I had some very deep feelings for. It didn't work out. And that was very hard for me. And now that I've marinated on it, it's allowed dating to be really fun. I've approached it with dating should be fun. And we always say, if it's not fun, don't get on those apps. Stay as far away from those apps as possible.
But what I want you to do to just add to this, right? Because it sounds like you guys are both really self-aware women, so you're already doing this, right? But what I'm suggesting for the listener that's single or whatever the thing is, if they want the relationship or they want the get the thing, to just do the 1 minute of checking in before you do the action.
Totally.
Because you want to take action, spiritually aligned action. You want to take action when you're in faith. You want to take action when you're feeling calm. You want to take action when you're feeling connected. You want to take action when you're vibrating a good frequency. You don't want to take action from a thirsty place or a fixing place or a non-trusting place. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just a little bit of a pattern interrupt inside before you make an outside action.
I like that a lot. Yeah. And I think, to go back to that's not true. When you framed it as saying that to a child, it hits different. That's as a go fuck yourself.
The thing is your inner child does believe it's true.
But then there are things I do believe that it's if you're thinking of these things aren't going right in my social circle, or, you get nobody likes me kind of thing, I think these little things this person didn't text me back, these people are hanging out without me, all those things can sometimes be a series of coincidences, and you start to spiral out of control. At what point do you have to reflect, and at what point do you have to be you're overreacting?
I had this the other day, and I think the more you practice these principles, the more you know that this isn't me, it's a part of me. It's a young part of me that's activated.
Yes, like that's from childhood. Like those feelings of like everyone's
whatever it is, everybody's we all have different
nobody
ones,
likes
right?
me kind of stuff.
It depends on what our thing is, right? That might not be your wound, right? But we all have these core wounds. And when they get triggered, which they get triggered all damn day, right?
Totally.
All damn day. From people, from but whatever, from like not getting the thing we wanted, from seeing the friend with the boyfriend and we don't have it, whatever it might be, we're getting triggered. And then we're going into these protection mechanisms. So we're living from like trigger to protector. And that's not a vibration of manifesting.
Right.
That's an energy of kind of being in this loop of self-preservation and this loop of defensiveness and this loop of fixing and this loop of just trying to survive. And it's exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you just put 1 minute of inquiry in place of that sort of reactive activity, then you might start to see your energy in your system settle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might start to feel a little bit more connected inside. And then every step you take starts to feel a little bit more aligned. So for instance, last week, I had a weird one happen where I was supposed to have a friend on my podcast and then I had to cancel because there was like some issues with the studio. And then her book came out the next day and she was like all over, like on Oprah and this and that. And she's like blowing up. And I was like, fuck, like I should have had her on the podcast. It was like very ego. Moments. You know what I mean? Like, not like, oh, I wanted to have her. Like, of course I wanted to have her on my podcast to support her. But the ego was like, oh, you missed that or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I was like in this belief that I hadn't been in for so many years. Like it felt like this weird thing. And I was like really bent out of shape about it. But I had the awareness of this is a part of me. So I checked in with it, just like we've been doing. And I was like, okay, where do I feel that in my body? And I chose to check in. I noticed where it was in my body. I started to feel it. I asked the questions, how long have you been around? And then I saw this image of myself, 16 years old, at the diner, like on a Friday night. It was what you did when like you were 16. And the 3 girls that I was best friends with decided that they didn't want to be my friend anymore. And they were like cursing me out in the parking lot. Oh, no. And I was like, I have no more friends. Mm-hmm. That was like the day I had no more friends.
Yeah.
And it was like this like reenaction of everybody else's friends, but I'm not friends. And it was like, this is completely different, of course, because it wasn't like somebody denied me. I canceled the podcast. But it was that feeling that was activated. And so then I tended to that feeling and I asked, what do I need? And I heard like, I just need to like be with the feeling right now, you know? And I worked it out myself. Like I became my own inner therapist. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, and I'm glad you shared that story because if I think about mine, like I do stand-up comedy and it can be very grueling and it can be a lot of like trying to be accepted here or get on these shows or dealing with like bookers and different shows and then a lot of like asking and people don't get back to you and whatever. I'm doing fine. I'm the Carol Week doing comedy. But when it can start to feel like a lot of things at once, which a lot of times are just that people are busy, you know, it's not personal, but it can start to be like, I suck and everybody's talking behind my back and why am I, you know, nobody likes me kind of thing. And those are some of those poignant memories of my childhood is those feelings of like your friends hanging out without you. And we had it so easy because we didn't have social media. I actually can't imagine how it would have been. But, you know, like I wasn't bullied per se, but those feelings of like 2 friends are without you and you hear about it, they call you or, you know, those moments like we've all had like sit with us forever and that all gets traced back to I think just being a girl growing up in the world wanting to be liked and you know wanting to be
you see it happening now.
It's the same feeling. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell you guys is if you spent a minute a day with that feeling, you could become the inner parent that you didn't have at that moment. You could be your own inner guide self. You could start to soften the feeling. It'd become less reactive inside of you. And then the next time you don't get the gig or they don't call back, it feels a little bit less like stingy. And then the next time it feels like a little bit less stingy, a little bit less stingy. And then guess what? It's not even on your mind. So you have a little bit more energy because you're not worrying about the gig that you didn't get. And you're feeling a little bit more energy. And then in that more energy, you go on TikTok and you're like, let me just do this funny thing because I'm in a creative energy, which is self. And you do this little funny thing. And then that video goes viral. And then, oh my God, you manifested the next gig. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah, because like most days I'm in that high vibe. I'm like, things are great, you know? Like our businesses are great. Like my relationships, you know, things are going well. So
I see what happens, and I want to talk about this. I'm a fixer. Like, this is just where I go. It's just, I literally was with Jonathan Van Ness like an hour ago, like doing the same thing. Like, okay.
Should have brought him with you.
So if you want it, I'll tell you this, okay? The two of you are already super high vibe, right? You lean in the positive. You're doing everything right. So this is just shining the crystal a little bit, right? Like you're fucking kicking ass. Like, sorry, I'm cursing so much on this show, but I'm kind of into
we own a sex toy company and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff.
Do you guys own a sex toy company?
Yeah,
I literally we're gonna mail you some fun stuff.
Speaking of
Rhea,
vibes.
my husband's the CEO of our company. She's like, gross. It's like her.
We have a cock ring for you guys.
Sorry,
Cock
Rhea.
rings.
Sorry, Rhea. Okay, that's
No,
a
but it's
little.
called Vibes Only, so it kind of even goes
I
with.
love it. Oh my god, I gotta get into this.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
We'll get
so
your address.
We'll
Great,
hook
you
you up.
guys.
But you curse all you want. Talk about anything.
Okay, vibes only. So it's easy to think this isn't towards you. This is just for your listeners. There's a lot of spiritual bypassing happening out there where people are like, I have this bad feeling. I'm going to tell myself it's the opposite. Or I'm just going to affirm that I'm perfect. I'm perfect. I'm perfect. I'm just going to be like, I'm abundant. I'm abundant. But if you don't believe it, it's not working.
Yeah, if you just stamp it out. Totally.
Or maybe it works a little bit and you start to attract a little bit more into your life and then you get that thing you want. But guess what? You can't keep it. You with me?
Can I ask you a question? So we talked about like career a little bit and being single and this belief that like you're going to be single forever and everything's terrible out there. But people in relationships, women that speak to you in your business, is there something you hear a lot from women, these and beliefs that you want to challenge them, people in relationships? And is it like, is this it? Is this relationship it? Like, do you have something that you hear time and time again from people in relationships?
Yeah, I think that people in relationships, I've heard a lot of sort of struggles with people getting activated by their partner.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So the partners that we choose are often the greatest learning device. They're the greatest teachers because they trigger all of our parts. They trigger our young stuff. So you can either continue to grow and learn together, or you can do your work and they don't do their work and you rise up and they, fall off. Or the opposite, right? But it's the couples that actually are in the work together in whatever form that comes, right? So whether it's couples therapy or any form of personal development, if you're both on your own journeys. So as long as you're healing and growing, there's hope.
So you see a lot of like just contempt sort of with somebody.
Contempt, definitely. Like lots of middle-aged women in my world now. I mean, I think your audiences grow up with you, even though it's like less age specific and gender specific now. But I'm seeing a lot of sort of like complacency or contempt or blaming and shaming of the partner because what are they triggering the parts of yourself you don't want to feel?
I mean, long-term relationships are tough.
Totally.
You got kids into the mix?
Yeah.
Do you
So
have
it's
kids?
like,
I have a kid. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a 6-year-old boy.
Okay.
okay.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot of work.
So what do you say to somebody that's just like, we're just at a place of contempt? I don't know. Like,
If you
and
can
I've certainly
afford
been
it,
there.
get
It's
a
tough.
couples therapist.
Okay.
And if you can find it, get an IFS couples therapist.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Internal family
And
systems.
if you can't,
If you can't afford it, go pick up self-help and do it together.
Yeah,
I mean
do it together.
I mean
I-
it.
I like
Do
the
it
idea of
together.
getting a book and doing it
Well, because
together.
that's about a world-renowned therapy that heals relationships, that heals your relationship to yourself. And the reason I decided to write my 10th book about this and democratize it is because not everybody can afford the therapy, or they may not want to go to the
Right.
therapy. So it's right there.
Yeah.
I wrote it for them.
Yeah.
Go get it.
So I wanted to circle back. I'm just curious of if I don't do it myself, it's not going to get done. And this, how has your life changed? Is this in your personal relationship with your husband, with people you work with?
All of the above.
Work with? Like,
All
are
of the
you
above.
have just relinquished control in some areas? Like, how has it looked?
Yeah, I still have control and not in an asshole way.
Yeah, of
right.
course,
Like it's
yeah.
like I can run the show, but not as a chaotic person. We can ask Rhea, who's in the room. Just kidding. One of my employees is here right
Yeah.
now. But actually, I will ask Rhea, and you could just scream to us. But like in the last 3 months, do you feel like we're more structured? We're
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Right? She's saying 100%. Yeah.
So what did you do to change that?
A lot of the work that's in that book, a lot of trauma recovery, a lot of IFS therapy, a lot of spiritual healing. It's, 20 years of hard work for overnight success, right? So it's not like I think that, okay, things are going to change. But what I'm here to say today is that things do change when you change.
Sure. So did you notice the way you were scheduling things or the tone of your voice?
I felt safer inside and I felt more trust inside.
And trusting like other people to get shit done.
It's trusting myself more.
You trust yourself.
And
more.
also what I did realize was I was the one I was waiting for. So I kept being like, my husband who's the CEO is going to just take over and fix everything, or my chief of staff is going to fix everything, or there's a partner out there that's going to fix it, and it's like, no, like you've been doing everybody else's job, but the actual job that you're meant to be doing, like the real job, which is like being that like guided leader and like telling people what you want clearly and like being clear, right? Self. Having the courage to ask people to step up and do what you want, right? Having the courage to change people's roles and move things around. All of that couldn't come until I trusted myself. And so in that trusting place, I've stepped up to be not doing everybody's job, but to be clearly defining what I want other people to do.
Was it showing up in your family, like with your husband?
Absolutely. Same thing. I want to make sure that we have these boundaries of how we parent together. And I want to make sure that my needs are being met. And another reason this happened so rapidly was going through perimenopause. When you go through perimenopause, you have no more shits to give.
Okay.
You literally are like, I cannot coexist with the old patterns that I lived with for so long. Like you just don't. You don't have the bandwidth to do that bullshit anymore. I didn't have the bandwidth to do everybody else's job anymore. Something had to give.
I think a lot of people have stories like that where you just stop giving a fuck. I don't know, because it's exhausting. It's not helpful. And people do, obviously that can come with age, but there's various reasons why it's just like, I don't fuck with that anymore. I don't think like that anymore. You know, I don't let that get me down anymore.
There's a lot of women out there that are having like a beautiful perimenopause conversation. Naomi Watts, Tamsin Fidel, and you've got Mary Claire Haver and these amazing actresses out there talking about menopause. And I think the theme across the board, even Oprah, a lot of them are just really clear. Like you just don't have any more shits to give. Like you can't do it the old way anymore. It just doesn't work.
So you got to ask for help.
You got to get the help and you got to ask for the help and you also have to give yourself the help.
Okay.
Self-help.
That's right.
So we want to talk about the evolution of this world of self-help and spirituality, I guess. I mean, you've been doing this for so long and before, obviously, TikTok, you know, even really before the way that Instagram is now, of course. And like, what have you seen? I mean, do you have thoughts? I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts.
Well, I think that some of what I've seen is not such a change in the spiritual conversation. I don't really think a lot of people are out there doing too much spiritual work. Like maybe I'm wrong, maybe unless you guys see things differently, but I think a lot of people are like talking about manifesting or like doing a podcast and interviewing people. I'm not sure there's like a lot of spiritual teachers out there per se.
Okay.
Do you think there are?
I mean, I think there's a lot of microphones out there. I mean, I guess it depends on how you define teacher. And we talked about like TikTok therapists and people that are quote unquote self-help and who you take advice from, because there's just so much noise out there today. And there's so many people telling you this is the perfect morning routine, which we were just talking about earlier on our show. And this is how you achieve your goals. This is how you manifest. I mean, there's just a lot of microphones out there. So it's like, have we gone too far? Is there too much of this?
Probably. I mean, here's the thing. If wellness and self-help and spiritual principles are trendy, great. Like I'd much rather that be the trend than like all the other crap out there, right?
True.
Like great. Like if you've got somebody on TikTok telling you to repeat a positive affirmation 1,000 times to manifest your dreams and that helps you, wonderful. Like wherever you enter doesn't matter. And I'm not going to judge that, right? Enter where you resonate, enter where you can enter. But I just definitely think you should be conscious and careful of who you're taking advice from. It doesn't mean that somebody has to have credentials. It just means that you trust that person's doing their own work on themselves. Because to your point, there's a lot of talking heads and people talking about shit that off camera they would not be even doing for themselves.
It's like we hear some, and we're like, we know when this mic goes off, you're a bad person.
Yeah.
Right.
But like then I challenge myself.
That's been around since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
I challenge myself to say like if anything that someone says allows a different person to like make their life better, create a positive practice in their life, heal something, then like what's the harm, I guess?
Yeah, if you hear something that heals you, it doesn't matter who you heard it from.
Right.
It's just there have been plenty of instances where there's like fake gurus, and that would be a big thing to watch out for. Big thing, that guru culture. Anyone that calls themselves a guru, run the other way.
Okay.
Run the other way.
Good to know.
Okay.
Do you feel like after all this time you're still learning
Always.
new stuff?
Every day.
Okay. From who?
From myself,
Your
right?
own
Like
experience,
the inner work I'm doing from Dick Schwartz, who's the founder of IFS, from doing more IFS work, from my therapist, from I'm reading a beautiful book about somatic experiencing right now. And I'm interviewing Peter Levine, who's like the godfather of trauma therapy.
Okay.
So just going to my teachers and just revisiting the tools. But I think the greatest learning I have every day is my life experience.
I like that you just say that it kind of never stops and this is a lifelong practice, because I think some people are just like, I want to fix this today.
Yeah.
I want to fix this problem today. I want to fix this wound today. And it's just little baby steps every day.
That's why I like that I have a 4-step prescription that you can do once for 1 minute or 2 minutes a day. And what I can say to your listeners, I can promise them this, I'll look you in the eye. If you make the commitment, and I'll look you guys too, to do 1 minute a day, these 4 steps, you will change your life. Period.
Okay.
Like, done. Promise.
Okay.
I promise you.
Yeah.
So if someone said to you, here's a pill that you can take that will change your life and help you manifest more, help you feel better inside and help you feel safe, you're fucking taking that pill, right? But if you're like, oh, you know what? There's a self-help book that says self-help in big red letters and it's 4 steps. You have to, like, maybe you'll do it for like 6 days, 7 days. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a book for the willing. Like, you got to go all in. You got to be committed. 1 minute a day is all you need, though.
That's the thing. It's just a couple minutes a day, you know.
That's it.
This isn't
That's
like
it.
get into a cold plunge or, you know, go like do this thing for
You're
an hour.
super committed
you know.
to your Instagram feed. Just do this.
Yeah.
So
Instead.
you talk about trusting the universe. And
Yes.
like what's meant for me. Is
You
meant
literally
for
just
me.
took the words out of my mouth. Okay, yes.
But like, I feel like I'm always like, but I challenge you. But like, to me, that's challenge the universe and do this thing do an actionable thing every day.
What this is doing is putting you back into the energy of the universe. Because when you're in a calm energy, you're aligned with the universe. I'm also going to give you guys something. I have a 21-day challenge in my app. I'll give you the app. It's called the Trust the Universe Challenge. It's 21 days. And I made it for myself because I needed it right now. So in January, I was like, what are we going to make in the app? I was like, I want to make a 21-day Trust the Universe Challenge.
Okay.
Because I was in this new shift, in this newness of myself, and I wanted a realignment. And my biggest book is called The Universe Has Your Back. And it just healed me to write it, and it healed so many people to read it. And it's the 10th anniversary of the book, and it's just coming out with a new cover and a new forward and all this stuff. So I was like, let's just celebrate with these principles in a challenge. And so the nice thing about that is it's literally like a 3-minute practice a day to realign. And so whether it's that challenge or these steps, something subtle, it's the subtle shifts, it's the small right actions.
So like if somebody's like, I don't know what that means, trust the universe, like what does that mean to you? You wrote a whole book about it, people should buy the book, but like it doesn't just mean like, well, just give it up to God and hopefully it works out.
No, it means that you develop a spiritual faith or a spiritual connection of your own.
Okay.
It's not religious. It's not like I'm telling you what mine is and how yours has to be.
Okay.
It's about choosing to see your life through the lens of possibility, choosing to lean towards what is working rather than what isn't, choosing to see obstacles as opportunities, choosing to learn how to calm your nervous system through tools like this or through meditation, and knowing that when you're in more of a joyful, calm vibration, that you are in alignment with what we call the universe.
Okay.
Because the universe is the energy of joy. The universe is the energy of abundance. The universe is the energy of synchronicity and support and fun and positivity. And we are always tapped into that, but we're not always tuning into it. So it's always available. It's always around, but we're not always tuning into that frequency.
Okay.
So it's like you've got your radio at a static frequency. You've got to tune up the radio, tune to the channel you want to be on.
And just kind of like black and white feels that you're aligned when you're feeling that like sense of calm, and you're out of alignment when you're just feeling kind of frantic, anxious, all the above.
Exactly. If you're in joy, you're calm, you're in the flow. Like when you're doing your comedy and you're totally in the flow and you're not thinking about what the next thing is that you're going to say, and you're just sort of like in that joy, and you've got all of your beats inside of you, and you're just sort of like extemporaneous on the stage. That's the universe.
Right. It's like a high.
Creative.
But a bad show, fuck you up.
Bad show out of alignment, right?
Exactly.
But how do you get back into alignment? You go check in with the part of yourself that's like, I'm fucked up because of my bad show, and you get calmer, and then you come back out of it.
Right.
By the way, how many times do you think I said fuck in this episode?
Not as much as us.
We'll do a counter.
I definitely win.
Yeah, Anna
I
put a little
definitely
counter in the no.
So how can we use this to like make dating more fun? To believe in yourself, to get out there with a positive energy? Because I think that we've all tried to date with a negative energy, and I think that it becomes sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. No one's out there for me. Everyone's terrible. Men are terrible. So how can we use this to make dating
You
fun?
just answered your question with your question, which is how can we do this with making dating more fun? Make dating more fun. What is it that you find joyful in your life? Like, what do you like to do? What's like a fun, creative thing for you?
Me personally, I love discovering new restaurants. I like going out to eat a lot. I like reading. I like taking walks. I like to go to the beach. Travel's really big for me. I like working and I like talking about what I do for work. A lot. I mean, we have a great business. I mean, all those things are really fun. I have a great social circle. My life's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so do more of that.
Okay.
That's number one.
Okay.
So do more of what brings you joy.
Okay.
Because why? When she was just talking like that, didn't she just like look so cute and so like alive and just like free and she's like, I'm and confident, right?
Yeah.
Like I love my work. I'm really good at my work. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That energy was sexy, honey.
Thank you.
That was sexy energy.
Okay.
That's the energy that I want you to bring when you go on the date with we should call him right now.
But I feel like I come alive when I talk about what I do for work.
Or when you're like a restaurant you really like that's the thing.
That's right. But that vibe that you're in, that's what I want you to do when you get on a date with
That's why you don't want to go like on a hike with somebody because you're not going to be in your vibe. Oh my God. Doing this.
We're going to leave a voicemail.
Manifest it.
Pick up the phone, bro. Pick up the phone.
The call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Oh, no.
The person you're trying to reach is
Okay,
not
we're
available.
going to leave a little
At
message
the
for him.
tone,
Okay.
please
great.
record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
I am sitting here on a podcast with your future wife.
Okay.
And we're live. We're live recording this. So you're going to have to like play it back and listen to it. And she lives in LA. She's absolutely gorgeous. She has the most amazing career ever. She's got a sex toy company and she's everything. Oh, wait. Oh my God. I was trying to set him up with somebody else at a sex toy company too. This is I'm not kidding you.
We'll figure out whose sex toys are better. He's going to fuck both of us.
No. This is the sex toy woman. Okay. And I'm literally live on the podcast right now. I hope you listen to this. I'll send you her number later. I know your game, and she lives on the west side in LA. Call us back if you get this. Actually, we're live on the show right now. Okay, I love you. Bye. Okay, there he is. Look how cute he is.
How old is he?
He's like 45.
Perfect age.
I'm
Love
into
it.
this.
Never married.
He's cute.
Is he from New York?
Grew up in Larchmont with me.
I'm obsessed with East Coasters.
Yeah.
I love them. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I'm going to
And
manifest
he's beautiful family. Like he's just the guy.
I
He's
love
gonna
this.
love you. He's gonna love.
I'm excited.
you.
And I feel like I'm really positive about dating. I've really been having a lot of fun.
Wait, are you dying? If you get married, can I officiate the wedding?
Yes.
Not can I? I am officiating.
You're
the
stepping
wedding.
down, Ashley?
Oh, right.
You can.
That would be weird.
Part
I'm
of
gonna
it,
I'm gonna
but
officiate her wedding, so I have to maybe reciprocate. Listen,
can be
you
like-
be up there.
we can-
you tag team it.
It's okay. You know what? If
give it up.
If it happens, you'll give it up,
You gave up quick.
If
Ashley.
that, well,
or we'll do it together.
She doesn't believe she's good
no,
enough.
I'll do
Let's
something
challenge that
else.
belief.
I'll do something else.
Actually, you can officiate. I'll just do a blessing.
Actually, her dream is to be the DJ of the wedding,
Yeah.
not the hype man.
No,
but to
well,
DJ
I'll
it.
MC your wedding.
Okay.
Actually, I don't want to do that either.
I don't think you're
just
gonna want to
wanna
do that. I think you're gonna want to write the playlist, and that's about it.
I just want to party.
I mean,
Yeah, Rayna's
I kind of
officiated mine.
I feel full body chills.
Oh my God.
I
This
feel
is the
excited.
thing.
I feel like I'm like really positive. I'm attracting really good stuff. And I feel really positive. A friend of mine last night was like, your energy is like really different recently.
Yeah,
He's like,
totally
you feel
is.
lighter, you feel more fun.
Yeah.
We're getting dick down more.
Mhm.
So I feel positive about this.
Yes, and that joy and that vibe. But I want you to keep coming back to like the energy that you were just in when you were talking about the job and your friends and your life and the restaurants and like that whole energy was just like just clear and beautiful and you were shiny. I didn't feel like you were like making anything up. You're just being like matter of fact. That's the vibe that you go on the app with. That's the vibe that you go on the date with.
Totally.
That's the energy that you bring to all of these different, any action you take for the dude is through that energy.
I like that tip too. I mean,
Yeah.
also if you're feeling negative, you're like, I want to date, but you're feeling negative today. Do something you're good at. Do something you're proud of with people that you like.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I met my fiance on like one of the most fun times of our connected with him. I met him years ago. It's a long story, but like the most fun month of our career was like
Yes!
the wildest tour month ever. I just got off the pill. I felt like a new person. Like I look back and I'm like I mean, I always think our life is getting better, but May 2023 was like on a different level. It was just like the most fun.
Recent.
So it's been, we're coming up on 2 years, but like I look back at that time and I was like, we were never having more fun than May 23.
We were really on a high.
We were on
Theater
such a
show
high.
after theater show.
That's the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, you guys.
Well, this is a great place to wrap up on the phone
on the
call.
positivity and all of it. I read your book on the plane yesterday.
Right.
I do actually want to ask, like, I'm curious about the title. Like, was this what you had planned, or did it come to you, or like?
It came pretty quickly.
It's blunt.
It's so blunt.
Yeah.
But it's,
You were looking at me
it's-
on the plane like, is she good?
But that's the thing. It's like you have to ask yourself, like, I got to do a poll, Rhea. Are you comfortable holding this book at a beach, right? At the beach or at the pool,
on the subway.
or on the subway or on the airplane or on the park bench? If the answer is yes, then go read the book. If the answer is not yes, then just take the cover off and go read the book.
I was letting the whole plane know yesterday that I need help.
It's a good. Why not?
But
Why
it's
not?
like it's beautiful. Yeah, it
Why
doesn't
not?
look like some. Like there's what movie am I thinking of? And they're like crying
This
in the
book-
self-help aisle of the bookstore. Like those
Oh,
doesn't
right.
feel like that anymore.
No, but
you know?
no, it's not. Then that's back sort of like the new wave of
Exactly.
self-help, and people are into it now. But I think that the thing about this book is that it was so. First of all, self again is the energy of that energy of self.
it's
So self helps.
self-help, yes.
So that's this is all about connecting to self energy to become your own inner healer. So that's the sort of play on words. But the reason that this book, this title and this cover was really meaningful to me is like, maybe it's not selling as many books as you could if you were like, the universe has your back, right? Like just the title on its own face, right? But it's a very important book for your own commitment to yourself. And so I think that it is a commitment to that 1 minute a day. It isn't like a magic pill. It is, this is like a book that's simple, but it's also giving you a tool, and not everybody wants to do a tool. So I'd rather like read out the reader and say, are you willing to change your life? Are you willing to show up? Are you willing to do the work?
I like that.
And if you are, then this is your book. If you're not, then like,
Maybe you're not ready.
see you next year.
Yeah.
It does really scream at you from the book
Because eventually
aisle.
you'll get there.
Yeah. You'll get there.
It really does say, like, we're going to do some work today, And if you're not ready to do that, maybe pick up a different book.
Or take the cover off.
Or just take the cover off.
Read it at home.
Well, there's like a beautiful woman on the back. It's you. But
we don't all have to be on a plane or a beach. I read
right.
at home.
Yeah. I
Or
read on my
listen,
roof.
listen to me read it to you.
Oh,
love an audiobook.
There is that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a great voice.
Yes.
I've always really admired your voice. You're in your power. It's not that we have so much sexy baby voice out there, and just kind of I feel like women, not all women, but some trying to kind of change their voice. We did a whole episode on voices.
I think that's such a nice thing to say, because
It is.
I do think that the voice and the tone of our voice and sort of how the sexy baby voice and sort of this, there is a new, I can fall into like Instagram girl voice easily, like, hi guys, like that's not, and
Vocal
and
fry, yeah.
it happens, but it's not grounded and it's not authoritative and it's not,
Totally.
you don't trust it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So I've always thought that about you.
Yeah, very measured and authoritative. Well, this was great, and I'm sure people are really going to want to find you and your app.
Yeah. Well, definitely check out the Trust the Universe Challenge. That's out right now. So if you go to deargabby.com/universe, definitely go try that out. At Gabby Bernstein on social, and my podcast called Dear Gabby with Dear Media as well, like you guys. And I think that a really nice place to start is the Trust the Universe Challenge. Like,
Okay.
just go dive in.
Great.
Yeah,
We love
self-help's
that.
the book. Go
Yep.
for it.
Yep. Get the book, you guys. And you can find us at girlsgottaeat.com. We are Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I'm Ash Hess. Rayna is Rayna.Greenberg. Vibesonly.com for the vibrators we mentioned. And subscribe on YouTube and share this episode with a friend. And we will see you Thursday.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.